The squad's headquarters buzzed with the aftermath of their last mission. Air Force, Pukey, and the rest of the team were still high on the adrenaline rush from their recent victory. Chief, their stern and authoritative leader, gathered them for a debriefing in their high-tech, concealed bunker. Alice, the team's quirky yet brilliant tech expert, joined them with critical intel. "All right team," Chief began, his voice commanding attention. "We've just received some crucial information. The criminals we captured are part of a larger syndicate planning a major heist. We need to infiltrate their base and gather intelligence on their next move." Alice stepped forward, her holographic display flickering to life. "The syndicate's base is heavily fortified and almost impenetrable. But I've managed to gather some intel on their security systems. We'll need to use disguises and advanced infiltration gadgets to get in." The tension in the room was palpable. The syndicate was notorious, and their base was a fortress. The team devised a covert infiltration plan. Pukey and Unks would pose as new recruits to gain entry into the syndicate's base. They geared up with advanced tech and weaponry, including disguises and infiltration gadgets. As they prepared, Air Force and Unks shared a tense moment, their previous encounter adding a layer of personal stakes. Pukey adjusted his disguise, looking every bit the part of a rough-and-ready recruit. Unks, with her sharp features and determined eyes, looked equally convincing. "Ready, Unks?" Pukey asked, a hint of a smile on his lips. "Ready as I'll ever be," Unks replied, checking her concealed weapons one last time. The team managed to infiltrate the syndicate's base, using their wits and charm to blend in. They observed the operations and discovered plans for a heist on a high-security facility. Just as they were about to relay the information, they were almost discovered. With a clever ruse, they diverted attention and completed their mission. "Get ready, we're moving out," Air Force's voice crackled over the comms. "Meet at the extraction point in 10. The team prepared to intercept the syndicate during their heist. They positioned themselves strategically, ready to ambush the criminals. As the heist began, the syndicate executed their well-rehearsed plan. The squad launched a surprise attack, using superior tactics and firepower. A fierce battle ensued, with syndicate members fighting back aggressively. Air Force and Unks teamed up, using their combined skills to take down key syndicate members. Just when they thought they had won, a twist emerged. A trusted informant within the team was revealed to be a double agent. The mission became complicated as the informant tried to escape with crucial information, leading to a high-stakes chase. Air Force and Unks managed to capture the informant, but not before he signaled for reinforcements. The final showdown began as the syndicate's reinforcements arrived. The team, outnumbered and outgunned, used their strategic advantage and knowledge of the terrain. With clever tactics and sheer determination, the squad managed to defeat the reinforcements. Back at headquarters, the team reflected on their success and the challenges they faced. Air Force and Unks shared a moment, acknowledging their growing respect and hinting at a deeper connection. Chief hinted at an even bigger threat on the horizon, setting the stage for their next adventure. The team enjoyed a well-deserved celebration, their camaraderie stronger than ever. As they relaxed, a mysterious figure observed their celebration from afar, hinting at future conflicts. The squad's journey was far from over, and their next mission awaited. Pukey and Unks infiltrated the syndicate's base, blending in seamlessly with the other recruits. They navigated through the maze of corridors, their eyes and ears alert for any useful information. In the dimly lit control room, they found what they were looking for, detailed plans for a heist on a high-security facility. Unks glanced at Pukey. "We've got what we need. Let's get out of here." But just as they were about to leave, an alarm blared. The base was on high alert. "We've been compromised," Pukey hissed. "We need to move, now." They ducked into the shadows, narrowly avoiding a patrol. Using their advanced tech, they managed to disable a few security cameras and slipped out undetected. Outside, they relayed the information to Air Force. "We've got the intel," Pukey said. The heist is happening tomorrow night. Air Force nodded. Good work. Let's get ready to intercept them. The team positioned themselves around the high-security facility, each member taking a strategic point. The night was eerily quiet, the calm before the storm. As the syndicate arrived, the team watched intently, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The syndicate moved with precision, disabling the facility's security systems and making their way inside. Air Force gave the signal, and the team launched their ambush. The night erupted into chaos as bullets flew and explosions rocked the ground. Air Force and UNCS fought side by side, their movements synchronized. In the midst of the battle, Air Force spotted a familiar face, the trusted informant who had betrayed them. Anger surged through him. "You traitor," he shouted, charging at the informant. The informant smirked. "Did you really think you could stop us?" A high-stakes chase ensued, with Air Force and UNCS hot on the informant's heels. They weaved through the facility, dodging gunfire and explosions. Finally, they cornered him. But before they could capture him, he activated a signal, calling for reinforcements. The team regrouped, knowing they were in for the fight of their lives. The syndicate's reinforcements arrived, heavily armed and ready for battle. Outnumbered and outgunned, the squad relied on their strategic advantage and knowledge of the terrain. Chief's voice crackled over the comms. "Hold the line. We can't let them get away." The final showdown was intense. Air Force and UNCS fought valiantly, their skills and determination shining through. With clever tactics and sheer willpower, the squad managed to defeat the reinforcements. As the dust settled, the team took a moment to catch their breath. They had won, but the cost had been high. Back at headquarters, they reflected on their success and the challenges they had faced. Air Force approached UNCS, a newfound respect in his eyes. "We make a good team," he said. UNCS smiled. "Yeah, we do." Chief gathered the team. "Great work, everyone. But we've got a bigger threat on the horizon. Get some rest. We'll need it." The team enjoyed a well-deserved celebration, their camaraderie stronger than ever. As they relaxed, a mysterious figure observed their celebration from afar, a hint of future conflicts in the air. The squad's journey was far from over, and their next mission awaited. As the team celebrated their hard-earned victory, the atmosphere in the high-tech bunker was light-hearted. Laughter and camaraderie filled the room. Air Force was in the midst of recounting a particularly daring move when Chief's comms device beeped urgently. The room fell silent as he answered the call. "Chief here," he said, his tone serious. The voice on the other end was muffled but urgent. Chief's expression grew more intense with every word. He ended the call and turned to the team. "Listen up, everyone. We've got a new mission," Chief announced, his voice cutting through the lingering cheer. "There's been a high-profile kidnapping. The governor's daughter was taken, and the ransom demand is impossible to meet. We suspect it's the work of a rival syndicate." The room buzzed with a mix of anger and anticipation. Air Force, ever the adrenaline junkie, felt a familiar thrill. "Do we have any leads?" he asked, already mentally preparing for the next operation. Alice stepped forward, her fingers flying over her tablet. "I've already started tracing the communication. It looks like they're hiding out in an abandoned industrial complex on the outskirts of the city. It's heavily guarded and rigged with traps." Pukey nodded, his tactical mind already working out the details. "We need a plan. A good one. This isn't just about the ransom. It's a power move. They're trying to show us up." UNCS, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "I'll go in first. They won't expect someone to infiltrate from the inside. I can disable their defenses and give you a clear path." Chief considered this for a moment before nodding. "All right. UNCS will infiltrate and disable their defenses. The rest of us will prepare for a direct assault. Alice, I need you to hack into their security system and give us eyes inside the complex. The team dispersed to prepare. Ankhs donned her gear, a mix of stealth technology and combat readiness. She glanced at Air Force, who gave her a reassuring nod. Be careful in there, he said. We'll be right behind you. Ankhs smirked. You just make sure to keep up. As Ankhs slipped into the night, the rest of the team gathered their equipment and went over the plan once more. The industrial complex loomed ahead, a dark silhouette against the skyline. Inside, the kidnappers were confident, unaware of the storm about to break upon them. Ankhs moved like a shadow, her training and enhancements making her nearly invisible. She bypassed the outer guards and slipped into the complex, her every move calculated and precise. She tapped into the security system, her fingers a blur on the control panel. Within moments, she had disabled the main defenses and opened a secure line to Alice. I'm in. Defenses are down. You have a clear path, she whispered. Back at the rendezvous point, Alice relayed the information. Team, you're clear to move in. Ankhs has done her part. Let's bring the governor's daughter home. Air Force, Pukey, and the rest of the squad moved in swiftly and silently. They breached the perimeter and navigated the complex's maze-like interior. Every corner held potential danger, but with Ankhs's guidance and Alice's surveillance, they avoided traps and neutralized guards with precision. They reached the central chamber where the governor's daughter was being held. The kidnappers had fortified their position, but the element of surprise was on the squad's side. A fierce firefight erupted, the sounds of gunfire and explosions echoing through the complex. Air Force and Ankhs fought side by side, their movements synchronized and deadly. Pukey coordinated the assault, directing the team with tactical efficiency. They fought their way through the kidnappers, each member of the squad showcasing their unique skills. As the dust settled, Air Force approached the governor's daughter, who was bound and gagged in the center of the room. He cut her free and helped her to her feet. You're safe now, he said, his voice gentle. Let's get you out of here. The team extracted the governor's daughter and made their way back to the bunker. The mission had been a success, but the toll was evident. They had faced a formidable enemy and come out on top, but there were still questions left unanswered. Back at the headquarters, as the team debriefed, Alice approached Chief with a concerned expression. Chief, there's something you need to see, she said, showing him her tablet. During the mission, I intercepted some communications. It looks like this rival syndicate is planning something big. This kidnapping was just a distraction. Chief's eyes narrowed as he studied the data. They're gearing up for a full-scale attack, he muttered. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. The team gathered around, the weight of the new information settling in. They had thwarted the kidnapping, but a larger threat loomed on the horizon. The rival syndicate was preparing for war, and the squad would need to be ready. Gear up, everyone, Chief ordered, his voice resolute. We have a new mission. We need to stop them before they can strike. This time, we take the fight to them. As the team prepared for the next battle, Air Force and Ankhs shared a glance. Their bond had grown stronger through the trials they had faced, and now they stood ready to face an even greater challenge together. The squad's journey was far from over, and their next mission awaited. The stakes were higher than ever, and failure was not an option. The rival syndicate had made their move, but the squad was ready to respond with everything they had. The fight for justice and survival continued. The team geared up with a sense of urgency and determination. The rival syndicate's planned attack posed a threat not only to them but also to the city. Chief laid out the plan, his eyes scanning each member of the squad. We're taking the fight to them, Chief said, his voice steely. We can't wait for them to strike. Alice, do you have a location for their base? Alice nodded, pulling up a map on her tablet. I've pinpointed their main operations hub. It's located in the heart of the abandoned industrial sector. Heavy security, lots of firepower. Pukey leaned over to look at the map. Sounds like fun. Let's gear up and give them a surprise they won't forget. Air Force and Unks exchanged a determined glance. Their previous missions had prepared them for this, and now, they were ready to face the syndicate head-on. The squad moved out, their vehicles roaring to life as they sped toward the industrial sector. The abandoned industrial complex loomed ahead, its decaying structures casting long shadows in the moonlight. The team approached with caution, their weapons at the ready. Alice hacked into the security system, providing a live feed of the complex's interior. We've got multiple hostiles inside, Alice reported. Stay sharp, everyone. Air Force, leading the charge, signaled for the team to move in. They breached the perimeter silently, their movements coordinated and precise. The element of surprise was on their side, but they knew the real challenge lay ahead. Inside the complex, the syndicate members were caught off guard by the sudden assault. The squad moved like a well-oiled machine, taking down guards and securing key positions. Air Force and Unks spearheaded the attack, their combined skills cutting through the enemy defenses. As they pushed deeper into the complex, the resistance grew fiercer. The syndicate had fortified their inner sanctum, and the squad faced a hail of bullets and explosions. Pukey barked orders, directing the team to strategic cover points. Keep pushing forward. Pukey shouted over the din of battle. We need to reach their command center. Air Force and Unks fought side by side, their movements synchronized in perfect harmony. They advanced through the chaos, their weapons blazing. The enemy was relentless, but so were they. Finally, they reached the command center, a heavily guarded room at the heart of the complex. The doors were reinforced, and the syndicate members inside were prepared for a last stand. Air Force placed a breaching charge on the door, stepping back as it detonated with a thunderous roar. The squad stormed in, the room erupting into chaos. The syndicate's leaders were caught in the crossfire, their plans crumbling around them. Air Force and Unks took down the final guards, clearing the room. With the command center secured, Chief stepped forward, his eyes scanning the room. Search the area. We need to find any intel on their plans. Alice quickly accessed the main computer, her fingers flying over the keyboard. I'm in. Downloading their files now. As the data transfer completed, Alice's eyes widened. Chief, you need to see this. They're planning multiple attacks across the city. This was just the beginning. Chief's expression hardened. We need to move fast. Alice, get this information to the authorities. We need to coordinate a citywide response. The team regrouped, their victory tempered by the urgency of the new threat. They had struck a blow against the syndicate, but the battle was far from over. As they prepared to leave, Air Force noticed a familiar figure among the captured syndicate members. It was the informant who had betrayed them. He was bruised and battered, but alive. Air Force grabbed him by the collar, lifting him to his feet. You're coming with us, he growled. We have some questions for you. Back at headquarters, the informant was placed in a secure holding cell. Chief interrogated him, pressing for information on the syndicate's plans. The informant, realizing the gravity of his situation, began to talk. They're planning a coordinated attack, he confessed. Explosives, armed assaults, you name it. They want to create chaos and take control. Chief relayed the information to the authorities, coordinating a swift and decisive response. The city went on high alert, with law enforcement and military units mobilizing to counter the threat. As dawn broke, the team stood ready. They had thwarted the immediate danger, but the fight was far from over. The rival syndicate had underestimated them, and now, they were going to pay the price. Air Force and Unks stood side by side, their bond stronger than ever. They had faced numerous challenges together and emerged victorious each time. Now, they prepared for the next battle, ready to protect their city and take down the syndicate once and for all. Chief addressed the team, his voice filled with resolve. We've made it this far because we trust each other and we fight as one. Let's finish this. For the city, for our friends, and for each other. The team moved out, their mission clear and their determination unwavering. The final showdown with the syndicate awaited, and they were ready to face it head-on. The battle for the city's future had begun, and the squad was determined to win. The squad's vehicles roared through the city streets, weaving through traffic with practiced precision. They split into smaller teams, each tasked with intercepting different arms of the syndicate's coordinated attack. Air Force and UNCS led the charge towards the largest threat, a group of heavily armed syndicate members preparing to detonate explosives at a crowded city square. Keep your eyes open and your comms clear, Air Force instructed, his voice steady. We stopped those bombs, no matter what. The city square was bustling with morning activity, completely unaware of the impending danger. Air Force's team moved swiftly, blending into the crowd until they spotted the syndicate members. The tension was palpable as they approached the suspects, each member ready for action. UNCS moved with lethal grace, her eyes locked on the nearest target. I've got eyes on the bomber, she whispered into her comm, moving in. Air Force signaled for the team to spread out and cover all exits. Just as UNCS closed in on her target, the bomber noticed her approach and panicked, drawing a weapon. The square erupted into chaos as civilians screamed and ran for cover. Now! Air Force shouted, and the team sprang into action. UNCS tackled the bomber, wresting the detonator from his grasp. Around them, the rest of the team engaged the syndicate members in a fierce firefight. Air Force moved through the chaos with deadly efficiency, taking down enemies with precise shots. Despite the overwhelming odds, the team managed to subdue the bombers and disarm the explosives. The city square was secured, but there was no time to celebrate. The other teams reported similar successes, but the fight was far from over. As the day wore on, the squad moved from one hotspot to another, systematically dismantling the syndicate's network. Each encounter was intense, but their determination never wavered. The city's safety depended on their success, and failure was not an option. By nightfall, the team had neutralized the immediate threats, but they knew the syndicate would regroup and retaliate. Back at headquarters, Chief gathered them for a debriefing. You did good today, Chief said, his voice filled with pride. But we can't let our guard down. The syndicate will come back stronger. We need to stay one step ahead. Alice chimed in, her eyes glued to her tablet. I've been monitoring their communications. They're regrouping at a hidden facility outside the city. If we move fast, we can catch them off guard. Chief nodded. We move out at dawn. Get some rest, everyone. We're going to end this once and for all. The team dispersed, each member mentally preparing for the final showdown. Air Force and UNCS lingered in the briefing room, a silent understanding passing between them. You were incredible today, Air Force said, breaking the silence. UNCS smiled. Couldn't have done it without you. As they stood there, the weight of their journey pressed upon them. They had faced countless dangers and emerged victorious each time. Now, they were on the brink of their greatest challenge yet. The next morning, the team moved out, their vehicles speeding towards the hidden facility. The air was thick with anticipation as they approached their destination. This was it, the final battle. The facility was heavily guarded, but the squad had faced worse. They moved with precision, their every action a testament to their training and camaraderie. As they breached the perimeter, the element of surprise was on their side. Inside, the syndicate members scrambled to mount a defense, but it was too late. The squad moved like a well-oiled machine, taking down guards and securing key positions. Air Force and UNCS led the charge, their combined skills cutting through the enemy's defenses. In the heart of the facility, they found the syndicate's leader, a ruthless figure with a cold, calculating gaze. He sneered as they approached, but his bravado faltered in the face of their determination. You think you can stop us? He spat. This is just the beginning. Chief stepped forward, his expression hard. No, this is the end. The final battle was fierce, but the squad's resolve never wavered. They fought with everything they had, their every move driven by the need to protect their city. In the end, it was Air Force who delivered the final blow, taking down the syndicate leader with a well-placed shot. As the dust settled, the team surveyed the aftermath. They had won, but the cost had been high. The facility was secure, the syndicate dismantled, but the fight had taken its toll. Back at headquarters, the team reflected on their journey. They had faced incredible odds and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. Chief addressed them, his voice filled with pride. You did it. We did it. The city is safe, thanks to you. Take some time to rest and recover. You've earned it. As they dispersed, Air Force and Onks stood together, the weight of their shared experiences heavy on their shoulders. They had fought side by side, their bond forged in the fires of battle. Now, they faced a new future, one filled with hope and the promise of peace. But as they looked to the horizon, they knew their journey was far from over. There would always be new challenges, new threats to face. And they would face them together, as a team, as a family. The fight for justice never ends, but with allies like these, there was no challenge they couldn't overcome. The squad was ready for whatever came next, their hearts steadfast and their resolve unbreakable. The city slept soundly, unaware of the heroes who had fought to protect it. But the squad knew, and that was enough. Their journey continued, and with it, the promise of new adventures, new battles, and new victories.